We have head coach Doug Martin of New Mexico State on the line. If you have a question for Coach Martin, please press *1 to get in the queue to ask questions. New Mexico State comes into this game following a 55-48 victory last week against Idaho, and now heads to San Marcos, Texas to take on Texas State. Coach Martin, before we get to questions, why don't you give us your thoughts on last week's game and a brief preview of the upcoming game against Texas State?
Okay, thanks, Randy. Yeah, I was really proud of our football team, the way we battled. We battled through a lot of adversity throughout that game. You know, we were down, 30-7 at one time, and kept fighting back. Our offense really played well. You know, we're playing with a backup quarterback in Andrew Allen. He threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, had a great night. Larry Rose had another fantastic night, running back 4 touchdowns, and just thought our offense was spectacular. And then second half we got stops defensively for the first time this year when we needed them down the stretch. But really proud of the way our players battled, and hopefully we can build on it for this week.
Thank you very much, Coach. As a reminder, please press *1 to get in the queue to ask questions. Coach, Larry Rose III was the Sunbelt Offensive Student-Athlete of the Week. Can you tell us more about what you saw in his performance on Saturday?
Just, tremendous effort. I mean, our offensive line played really well. Obviously, when you have a running back that runs for those type of numbers, your offensive line had to play pretty good. But Larry, he just continues to amaze. You know, he makes people miss in the open field. He's got tremendous speed. He was really effective in the passing game also. But it's just a tremendous pleasure to coach this guy. I mean, he's what you want in a college football player. He's a great student. He's a great student of the game, shows up every week and just goes to work. He is really special.
And New Mexico State received some national attention for the Terrell Hanks interception. Have you ever seen a game clinch that way with a guy making an interception with his feet?
Yeah, that's not exactly the way you teach that, but we'll take it any way we can get it at this point. But, yeah, I've never seen that before, but that was we deserve that break. We've had a lot of those breaks that have gone against us this year, so it's nice to get that this way. And the best thing about that was the ball was tipped by Javon Ferguson, who's a true freshman linebacker that had 17 tackles for the game, and then Terrell, obviously, is another true freshman that made the interception. So it's great to see young players, and we're playing a lot of young guys come up and make those plays.
And speaking of, last question is about Javon Ferguson. He's only played in 2 games this year, but he's now stepped up and, like you said, made 17 tackles against Idaho in the big tip. I mean, how big is it for him to come in immediately and make an impact? Yeah,
it was huge, Randy. We've really liked Javon all along. We've tinkered back and forth about whether to play him or redshirt him, and it just got to the point where we had a couple of injuries. We thought we'd just go ahead and play him, and he's going to be really special. I mean, we've really recruited really well here. Our 2 recruiting classes are really spectacular, and he's right at the head of that.
All right, Coach, that's all the questions we have for you today. We appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. As a reminder to our members of the media, we will be back here shortly with head coach Willie Fritz of Georgia Southern.